Good day, everyone. This is Michael Farquharson. Welcome to the Canadian Chapter Podcast, and I'm your host for today, Michael Farquharson, the president. Before we introduce our guests for today, just want to let you know that you can contact us by our email at statscanada@gmail.com. We're on our website at stathscan.com. That's STATHSCAN.com. And we have a number of items there listed for you. So that's one way to contact us. We're also on X, and formerly called Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook. And on today's show, we have no other than Mr. Horace Campbell, the president of the Northeast chapter. And welcome, Mr. Campbell, to our podcast for today.
Thank you, President Farquharson. It's good to be with you.
Thank you. Thank you. And so we're just going to jump into the program for today. So I'm not sure if many people are aware or know of you, but this goes out to the world. So we want to get an opportunity for you to introduce yourself to the folks there that will be viewing this podcast, and just start off by telling us a little bit about yourself. So who is Horace Campbell?
So let me start off by just saying I was born in Kingston, Jamaica. Grew up there for a majority of my years in Jamaica, and I attended St. Andrew Technical High School in 1962. When I was awarded a scholarship to go to Stats, as we call it, I had no idea where this place was. I wanted to go to Kingston Technical, and I went to Stats instead, and I have no regrets of having been selected to go to that school. When I went to Stats, my form teacher was Dr. Neville Ying at the time. He's now Dr. Ying. He's a professor at the University of the West Indies, and I've remembered him over the years because along the way we had invited him to one of our fundraising events to be our guest speaker. However, my first year at Stats was pretty quiet. I was trying to feel my way around. The second year I was voted class monitor, and the third and fourth years I was voted prefect for my class also. There was a male and a female prefect and class monitor. Okay, so I'm a Roman Catholic. Okay, and I've been involved with that with my church for many years. Even today, I do a lot of volunteer work there. While at Stats, just to back up again a little bit, I was on the Manning Cup team. I played football. I was a pretty decent footballer, and I can say that because I started every game I played, and I was never removed at any time while we were there. We were actually the first Manning Cup team for the school. I was also a member of the camera club that was there. I was a member of the cadet. I was very involved in sports. I did some track, not a lot, but I was very active there. And like I said, that was where I got my background in my educational background, and that's one of the reasons why I'm giving back today, because it has brought me a long way.
So in terms of the time period you attended Stats, you're one of the first students there?
Okay, so yes, so we were the third batch of students that went there. Okay, there were two other batches before us. As a matter of fact, the school was still under construction because the year after we started, 1962, there was no class 1963 class. So there was no 67 graduating class as far as I am aware. So we were first three sets of students. There was a break, and then the following year, the other set of students came in. Yeah, so graduated in 1966. Those were the days when the school, it was brand new. Everything was new. Our teachers were like very professional people, highly educated. Many of them had degrees, teachers' degrees and degrees from the University of the West Indies. So we had like the best of the best. And that was one of the great features about going to Stats. It was brand new, introduced by the Minister of Education as to expand the technical curriculum in Jamaica. So that was that was a very good thing for me to be there.
Yeah. So in terms of what area of education did you pursue at Stats, or technical area?
Okay, so I went to the area of mechanical engineering. That's the area that I wanted to. That's where I wanted to study to become an engineer. Actually, as a matter of fact, I wanted to go to a grammar school prior to that because my thought was I wanted to become a medical doctor. And and because I didn't get into one of your KCs, JCs, or those grammar schools as they refer to, I became interested in engineering. So much so that when I left St. Andrew Technical High School, I went on to CAS, this College of Arts, Science, and Technology, and I studied mechanical. I continued my studies of mechanical engineering there. I graduated in 1970. Went to work for Jamaica Milk Products in Bagwar while still living in Kingston. So I was traveling back and forth on a daily basis. And after being there for 3 years, prior to that, I met my wife. The final year at CAST, I met my wife. 3 years later, we were married. She had migrated to the United States, and I followed in 1973. When I got there, I wanted to, because CAS gives you a diploma and not a degree. I wanted to pursue and get a degree in mechanical engineering. So I went to City College, City University of the West Indies, City University of New York. As a matter of fact, I was accepted a year before, but I didn't get up until the following year. So I went right into school, spent 4 years there studying mechanical engineering, graduated from there, went on to work for PSE&G, which is a utility company in New Jersey. Spent many years there until my retirement in the early part of the 2000. While I was there, I went out and I got 2 degrees, a degree in Masters of Management, and I was given an opportunity to be in the environmental field. And I was given a promotion that was like 5 levels up if I went into that field. And yeah, of course, you don't refuse those
Exactly.
promotions. Yeah. And it was a brand new field for me. So I went out and I went back to school, and I got a master's degree in environmental science. So I have been with that company for, up until 2006. I left, took early retirement, and then went out and worked for another company. I put my resume out. I had 3 companies that called upon me. I accepted one, worked for them for 7 years, and call it quit. So now I'm a retired individual, enjoying as much life as I can. And that was giving me an opportunity to volunteer and give back. That's a part of my part of who I am.
Okay, that's good. That's good. And it's quite a journey there in your life. Going from Stats to CAS. I remember because in my time it was still CAS, right. And to the US we could further your studies in mechanical engineering and environmental sciences. So that's good. And you met your wife at CAS. I mean,
yeah, my wife is a Stats girl.
It's a Stats girl.
That was one of the best decisions I've made in my life.
Same here. My wife is actually graduated the same class together. And
okay, same here. Yeah.
So that's good. We carry the name of Stats high, very high. So I just go back to, you were very involved at Stats there. You said you played on Manning Cup team, football team. You're involved in cadet. Myself was involved in cadet too. So did you play in any soccer, as they call it now in North America, and in the soccer during your time in the US?
When I came up, I didn't get involved in any kind of professional soccer. We had what we call our pickup teams. I met friends from Jamaica that came up that I played soccer with while we were there, and I played for about a year or 2, and then I said, this is it's time to practice. Since I didn't make it a career,
yeah,
high school,
Yeah, but
I wasn't at that level that I
okay.
could make it a career for myself. So I went on to do other things that I could make a decent living from.
All right, sounds good. How about any hobbies? Any hobbies that you have that you're passionate about outside of the chapter?
Well, well, I when I was a youngster, I went to a school called Cathedral Choir School for 4 years, where they taught us to sing. I was so there. I started doing a lot of singing. That even so, when I went to Cass, I was doing solo parts at the Christmas cantata. So that's one of the things I like to do. I like to sing. I like to dance. I've been to dancing studios. My wife and I bought to do ballroom dancing. I I taught myself. I did some lessons in piano, to play the piano. I taught myself to play the guitar, and to not to any professional level,
Mhm.
but those are the kind of things that I like to do. I'm into music. I'm into dancing. I'm in the choir at my church.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
I've been
Yeah.
in the choir. Yeah, I've been in the choir for many years. So
Yeah.
I do a little singing.
Okay, well, that's good. Continue that singing tradition. Excellent.
Yes, 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 yes.
Looking back at your life, is there a moment or something that you're most proud of to date that you look back and say, I'm glad I was able to do this. I was glad I was able to accomplish this, and it has made me the person I am today. Is there such a thing, or such a
Well, yeah,
person, if no thing?
there's really, if I had to think about persons that influenced me into doing what I'm doing today, it would be my mother and my father. Okay, they were great influences on my lifetime. My father was a taxi driver. He had his own car. My mom raised 7 of us at home while he provided the funds for us. And when she left, when she had her 7th child, she decided she wanted to go out to work, and that brought us up into so-called middle class in Jamaica, because now there were 2 different salaries covered.
Yeah, two income sources. Yes.
Yeah. But just to answer your question, my mom always focused on us getting an education. And a little story I have: when I left Stats and I taken the test for cast, all that summer I went out looking for jobs, but I wouldn't accept any job that I was being offered that summer because they weren't paying me enough. I wanted more money, right? And the morning that I was when cast, I was to go to cast, I was sleeping in bed. My mom came in, yelled at me, "Get out of here," she said. "You're going back to school because it seems like you don't want to work." I said, "I want to work, but they're not paying me, So that's how I got to cast. So I mean, I think that really changed my life in the sense that just by me going on to this higher form of education,
Yeah.
and propelled me into going to college, and after leaving CAS, going to college. And while going to CAS, I made some very good friends there. We became we're lifetime friends.
Okay.
So my parents were my role models, so to speak.
Okay.
I'm hoping that my kids think that my wife and I are their role models too.
There you go. There you go. Well,
Yeah.
you do your part, right? And hopefully,
Yeah. Oh,
influence
yeah.
goes and that motivation goes to them. Yes.
Well, so far so good. I have no complaint, for them. So
Exactly.
that's
So you mentioned children. How many children, grandchildren? How many?
well. I have children, no grandchildren.
Your
I
grandchildren.
have a grand dog, if you want to call that.
Okay.
Yeah. But my children are doing well. My son works with the United Nations.
Yeah, it's good.
And my daughter, she's a senior vice president at one of the largest insurance companies in New York City.
Yeah.
So I have no complaint. They've gone on to live their own lives.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we can sit back peaceful and enjoy the fruits of our work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. We're just going to transition now over to the Northeast chapter.
Okay.
I know it's been around for some time, actually. The Canada chapter is a child of that. But tell us about the Northeast chapter. How long has it been around? You're the president now. How long have you been the president? And some of the things that you do as a president.
Okay, I lead, or I try to lead. They'll tell you that. So the Northeast chapter was formed in 2003. Yeah, a group of 12, what I would call like-minded people who really wanted to do something and give back to the school. We got together and we met this Saturday afternoon in December, and we had a meeting and we said, let's do this, guys. Let's see if we can form an association where we can do some fundraising and raise funds to give back to the school. Those are the formative days. Okay, so we were forming, so you can imagine there was a lot of storming and a lot of different things that was going on, because many of us really, it was like the first time we were doing something like this, but we had the sense enough to say, okay, let's write some rules. So we wrote the bylaws of the association, and the bylaws was written in such a way that it's like a democratic process. Okay, because for instance, major decisions that are made in Stats Northeast are made by the membership present at meetings. We have discussions and we decide whether we go forward or not. But a little secret, it's not really a secret because I try to promote it every time. There was a Canada chapter when we were forming, and there was a Florida chapter when we were forming, because our bylaws, I reached out to the folks in Canada and I reached out to the folks in Florida. I got their laws. I put them together, plus other research that I had done. And with a couple of guys, we worked together. I worked with some lawyers in my company at the time. We were able to write our bylaws. So a lot of what we do today, some of it at least, comes from that. You might not know that this chapter existed, because we went on cruises, with the folks before from Canada, supporting them. And we used to go to Florida when they had their association ongoing, and they were meeting with Casey at the time. Okay, David Jameson was the president of the Florida at that time. But so they supported us in the beginning. They really helped us. That's why one of the things that we want to do is help, start up Stats Association, like for the Canadian chapter, the Florida chapter that restarted themselves, and we're out there lending our help.
Exactly. And when I came on board, I found out that Norma Edwards, her name is, she was the president of the Canada chapter then.
That's correct.
And, actually, she's involved but not active with us, so she does lend her support. And I reached out to her and said, yeah, it's good. Most of my guys in my years, they're all over the country, so it's hard to get them to connect. And most of them are not technologically savvy. So, that was the thing. But yeah, she did tell me that, this was going on, and she's a big help to us right now on this side. So I do understand. Yes. And yeah, that's good.
So that's one of the places. Our name, Northeast, actually, we were in New York, and we wanted to name the New York Alumni Association, but then there were people from New Jersey, like myself, people from Connecticut, there were people from Pennsylvania, so we came up with the name Stats Northeast Alumni Association. Of course, the world that we live in now, with the computerized world, the global world that we live in, anybody out there can join us. Exactly. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah. And that's good. That's forward thinking, right? Not just limiting yourself to one specific area geographically when you're part of the tri-state, I call it, right there, so more people can be included and feel inclusive. So that's excellent. You mentioned you guys
before you continue, so I don't forget this thought. At this stage of my life, the other thing we did is we went out and we registered as a not-for-profit association in a 501c3 under the New York state laws, and so that we could officially go out there and start raising funds, because now we're governed by rules and regulations because on an annual basis we have to do tax returns. So that's one of the things. As far as transparency goes, that was one of our goals, that we're going to be very transparent in everything and anything that we do. So we went out there and we did that.
Yes, that's good. I mean, yeah, I just the Canada chapter is registered too, and we do it. And people feel assured once you're registered, because they know that this is legitimate and your money has to be accounted for, and there's transparency, and you got to file with the government every year. So, kudos to you. And I just want to mention, you guys just celebrated 20 years of being a registered chapter. So congratulations, as I said. And I was, it was my joy when you reached out and asked for a letter, just to commendation. So we're glad that we could send that your way. And as I said, you guys are the bigger chapter there in terms of being around for a long time. I know you mentioned the Canada chapter and Florida chapter too, but kudos to you and what you guys are doing. Excellent. In terms of your executive, just before, you mentioned you guys met that Sunday evening. So I take it that you're one. I think I read that you're one of the founding members.
That's correct.
12, one of 12. So you've been around a long time. That's good.
I have been there, and one of the challenges we face today is getting the younger people to come in. One of the goals that we have is to reach out to the younger graduates, to get them involved, because they're the ones that need to take over, so we can continue in terms of sustainability. We're trying to set up a sustainability program so we can get the young people in. So 20 years from now, I might not be here, but at least that's Northeast will be here servicing the school and current students.
That's good. And I just want to jump ahead, because it seems that not only your chapter, but a lot of chapters, even here with a different high school, they're having the same issue, get the younger, alums to join. And since you mentioned that, I'm going to ask you, tell us now, how can somebody get in contact with you, with the chapter? How can someone become a member of your chapter?
Well, we have a website like most. It's at statsne.org. That's stathsne.org. That's our website. And there is a section there, a membership section. You could click on that. It'll take you to a form. You fill out the form with all your relevant information. We will receive that information. We will contact you. The fees, your annual membership fee is $100 per year, and it's renewable. One of the things about our chapter is your membership is renewable on an annual basis. So you might be there for 20 years or whatever it is, but it's as if you become a new member every single year. So that's one of the ways that we wrote the rules.
And that's good, because as a chapter, we need that funding, right? You need that funding to continue the projects that you're doing at the school. And just to remind our viewers that everything that's raised by the chapter actually is, work on giving back to the school and different projects, different things. As we go into that, what are some of the things that your chapter has done over the past 20 years? In terms of giving back to the school? You have some, want to list some. I know recently one of the legacy project was the bus. You want to elaborate on that for us a bit?
Well, the bus in 2020, we had our first meeting when we decided that we wanted to give the school a bus, because we went to the school. You probably have been there and you saw the condition of the bus. And the principal did a videotape of the bus and sent it up, and we posted that on our website showing the condition of the bus. And that was the year of the pandemic, 2020, when we conceived of the idea that we wanted to go ahead and give that to them. And we had our first online fundraising event. So that again was an initial challenge to us, and so we were pretty successful. We had a goal of raising $50,000. Of course, that night we raised about $13, but it was an ongoing goal, whereby we, as time went on, We had to move that goal from 50 to 65. But eventually we were able to raise up to $70,000 in 2 years. So we were able to go out and purchase this bus for the school. Of course, we got some concessions from the government in terms of, reducing costs and so on. So yeah, that's one of our crowning achievements as an alumni association. And we're all very proud of that because, everybody contributed to that, to make that happen.
And congrats. I know the fundraising night, you say about 13,000 was raised that night. So that's good. I mean, anytime you have a fundraiser and you're able to, bring in a couple of $1,000s on the first night, that's always good because, that's a motivation to go on and to let people know, hey, we were started and, we're at this level. So that's good. That's good. In terms of the previous before 2020, what are some of the things that you guys have done as a chapter to give back to the school before the bus?
Well, besides scholarships, from we began, we've been giving scholarships to at least 10 students every year. And this is not like academic scholarships, they're students in need. Students who need a bus fare, who need to pay for books, who need to pay for tuition, who need to pay exam costs, and their parents are unable to, to provide those money. So we have been doing that for every year for at least 10 students. They're starting back in 2005 or 6, I think, if I recall, and that has continued throughout the year. So it's 10 students at $500, per year. We've continued that. The other thing that we've done is we've shipped hundreds of computers, desktops and laptops and computer accessories. We've shipped hundreds of desks and chairs. We've acquired them, donations to the schools, desks and chairs. We have sent them to the schools. We have provided the school with equipment for the different areas. For us, the cosmetology area, the architect engineering area. One of the things when we started out first, and it's a problem in the island, from time to time there are droughts. Okay, so we decided that we hired a geologist to go out there and to do some surveys on the ground to see if we could find water, so we could help to help them during those days, as to support the school with a water system. Unfortunately for us, the engineers, the geologists came back to me and said, hey, we found water, but it's brackish, salt. So that means I kind of understood that because you're right next to the sea, so to speak,
yes.
Relatively. So we were unable to do that. That would have been a sustainable thing. So we did the next best thing. We went on and buy like 400 gallons rhino tanks that we installed on the school. Okay. We refurbished, and we've been doing that over time. We refurbished the playing fields. 2 playing fields that were there in the early years because they were having a lot of problems. They were not able to have games there. And unfortunately, today they're having the same issue.
Same issue, yes.
Yeah. So there has to be some way that we can make that last much longer in terms of maintenance and keeping the upgrade of the field once we invest all those dollars in there.
Yeah, and that's the thing, you need kind of thing that lasts longer, right? In terms of the investment that goes there for the field. So that's good. That's good on your part. I know we skipped over it, but in terms of the executive members, how many members are there?
Before you even do that, because we've donated, so we've supplemented the lunch program, the breakfast program. We have donated things to the nursing stations. You name it. We've done it. The students coming up here, the pen relays, we've provided hotel accommodation, transportation for them. Whenever they call on us to assist them in anything, we have always stepped up. I'm saying that because our members that we have, one of the reasons we have been so successful is that our members, at least the majority of them, are so dedicated and they're so passionate in giving back to the school. You remember that when we had to do our first fundraiser, we had to put dollars from our pocket into the system before we started raising funds. And it was a spring dance that we held. Every year we have a fish fry. We gave up the spring dance, but because it wasn't successful, we supplemented that with a fish fry. We do what we call a family fun day in the park, where members, the fish fry is like almost 100% donation from the members. So the profit that comes in all the profit goes to the school. The family fun day in the park that we have annually also too is where members, this is our way of thanking the public or donors for giving to us. So we have this big fun day at the park, games and food and drink, bring your family. That also is money that's provided by the members. So I just wanna say this thing doesn't happen, but in a black box or whatever. There are people out there that are working, putting on a lot of sweat. They bring, and we're fortunate enough that we went to a technical school, right? And we have male and female. So, and we have people with all kind of skills. So when we need to call upon something, there's always someone in our group. We need a photographer. There's always someone there to step up. So that has minimized the cost to the association and going along. So I just want to take this opportunity to thank the members and you that are listening now for all the work, all the time that you have put in to make this association a successful one.
Thank you. And that's good. We know that it's a teamwork. And, as you said, it's a technical school. We've been privileged to attend the school, and, it's both male and female. So we are across the spectrum there. So, people of different technical skills and abilities can help out. And I know there's a lot of efforts that goes into it, a lot of time, dedication, and sacrifice that people have put in, to give back to our beloved school. We mentioned, so thank you for that. We just want to, in terms of the executive members, how many members are there on your board, and how many registered members your chapter has at the moment? If you want to kind of elaborate on that, if you want to do that.
Okay, so when we were formed, today we still have it. We still have 9 executive members: president, vice president, secretary, assistant secretary, treasurer, assistant treasurer, public relations officer, assistant public relations officer, and we have a final position, executive at large. That's the vote that will break a tie vote. So we have 9. Again, we were thinking through that when we were forming. So yeah, and we have had those positions throughout the years. We have had 4 presidents to date. I'm the 5th one. Yeah, and we have had 1 female. That's the immediate past president, Melanie Forrest.
Yes.
Courtney Richards was our first president. Ron Ingleton followed. Archibald Roberts, Melanie Forrest, George, and then myself. Actually, I've been here for this long, and I've always told the folks I never want to be president. I work better behind the scenes. I'll give you all the support. But last year, I could not get away from it. I stepped up. So I say I'll do 1 term. So my term is up next year. A term is 2 years.
Okay.
So because I really want to get the younger people in, I want to get other people in that, I can always stay in the background and help as a supplement. I was talking about our fundraising events. The other one that we have is our annual banquet. That's when we all get dressed up. That's when we bring the principal up. We pay his fees, airfares, hotels, is whatever he needs. And really and truly, what he does is he makes a report on what we have done, what we have given to the school for that year. And we've been doing this annually for the past 19 years. And we think it's very good because we have established a brand where our members are really, come in and see our credibility as an association. Okay, and they come to these functions and they hear the principal voices everything that we have done for him, and it makes it easier for us. That investment to bring him up, goes a long way in terms of bringing funds into the association.
That's good, excellent. Well, that's basically all the questions we have for you for tonight, Horace, and thank you for being our guest tonight and to share your personal life, professional life, and the Northeast chapter, what the Northeast chapter has been doing over the past 20 years, and it's good. You say you like to work in the background, stepping up to be president for this term, and that's good. It shows your dedication to the cause, and that is giving back to our school. Before we sign off for the day, this is the time we'll give you the opportunity to give a shout out. If you want to list persons by name or just by group, go ahead and do that, and they'll get to see that.
Well, first of all, I just want to shout out my class of 1966. All the folks that are part of the Northeast are part of another alumni association, because we make up, we have a very strong voice in the Northeast Association. So I just want to, I don't want to name names, I guess I just want to say, if you're out there, Winston Clark, he was one of my mentors in school in terms of teaching me how to talk to girls. I want to say, I hope you're around, and I want to say, I hope everything is going well with you. And to all the folks that I grew up with in Pembroke Hall, all my friends in Pembroke Hall, you remember me. My nickname is Nachi. Okay, that's a lot of people. Maybe majority of people call me that rather than Horace, and I got that name when I was going to Stats. So all the people out there who know me, I just want to say I hope things are going well with you. Stay healthy, and one more last shout out to my wife Jennifer, again a Stats graduate, who has been, the rock solid person in my life, who's guided me, along the way. And I think she might be in the background of trying to tell me to what to do or what to say. So shout out to my wife, Jennifer, and shout out to all my friends from Pembroke Hall and from Stats.
Listen,
and yes. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about our alumni association and a little bit about me, I hope.
Thank you. And we appreciate that, appreciate information. And we just encourage the younger alums to get involved with the Northeast chapter. Their website is statsne.org. It said, enrollment forms are there for members. And, thank you to the community that supports the Northeast chapter and virtually supports our alma mater, Stathscan Technical High School. And always will sign off by saying honor, diligence, and service. And thank you, Horace, for being here.
Shout out to Mano too. One of our.
Yeah, all right. Shout out to Mano. All right. Thank you, guys. And until next time.